terms of lighting diet. And this is the everybody's saying, you know, it's going to be the future of lighting. The light source have really only been around in the sort of towers that we can use to generate light for use. We've been used a lot of indicators, traffic systems like that for about the last 3 or 4 years. Now, normally if I talk about improvements in light source efficiency, you know, we can put a group of maybe light coats in the laboratory for 5 years and they'll come out with another 5% increase in efficiency. LEDs are accelerating in efficiency at such a rate that I could tell you probably what's going to happen this year. I wouldn't like to predict what will happen next year. They're advancing at the same rate as 75% this year. I think in terms of where they're placed, what we found is it's partly a cost issue as well as an energy issue. They've begun to find their place in many outdoor lighting applications because they have a very long life, they're reliable, they're small, they're neat, they're compact, designers like them. And we had the privilege of relighting a little place at the end of the Mall last year. And despite what printing the Daily Mail said about the lighting, the total power that installation uses as the lighting of the front facade is 2.7 kilowatts, which is a really, really low energy bill. And probably about 20% of what it would have cost in energy terms to have lit that building using conventional lighting. So I think in outdoor lighting, we've already begun to find its place. What we're starting to see now, and really just beginning in 2007, is that we're getting LED solutions for indoor lighting. So typically you've got lots of low voltage halogen, 20 watt low voltage halogen, you could probably replace by 12 watts in total of LED today. By the end of the year, that may well be 6 watts of LED today. And they're particularly useful where you want directional light. We've still got a way to go yet before we're going to take out the fluorescent lamp and put LEDs in. But again, it's really impossible to predict when that point will come, because it certainly will. But I don't know if I answered the question.
Can I just ask a supplementary on this question of replacing the famous tungsten light bulbs with I presume that means the sort of 40, 60 and 100 watt we know and love, but I guess spotlights sort of R80 type spotlight and so on will continue, or is that just be phased out as well?
No, again, there's been a little bit of misunderstanding. I think some people have thought the intention is to get rid of every single type of tungsten lamp that exists. It is basically the 40, 60, 100 watt, which are they're the big winners. They're the ones replacing. We can replace those with the energy saving battery time. We're not talking about people no longer being able to buy nice sparkling lamps to put in their chandeliers. There are lots of applications where tungsten lamps will still go on, but they probably represent only 20% of the total number of lamps that are the big hitters are the 40, 60, 100. We can replace all of those and make them all in the energy use of lighting.
Yes, we're very nice to get a big pile of the summer and drop a brick on them. Right, okay, any more questions, please? Yes, over there.
Hi. Hi, Calvin Jones. I've got a climate change blog. So my question is, I'm not an economist, but I've heard some quite worrying comments about so-called macroeconomic rebound. So if we've got a lot of energy efficiency going into the system, perhaps for your individual businesses that's going to be great. Perhaps that would mean that the cost of a bottle of whiskey may go down, but someone with that money they've saved and spent on another thing is a place for government, some sort of government policy to deal with that effect.
Right, yes, Nick, you would say your comment.
If you're not an economist, I probably shouldn't advise you to read the recent papers by people at Sussex University, which are on the UK Energy Research Centre website. They've got lots of equations and Greek symbols in them. The bottom line, I think, is that, yeah, of course there's a rebound effect. If people save money, they spend it on something else. If they save money on energy, they probably spend some of it on energy, but they're very unlikely to spend all of it on energy. So you get a rebound effect we think in homes it's typically going to be 10 to 30%. I think the evidence for business is less clear simply because there's less work being done on it. But I think common sense tells you that the most energy intensive activity that you've got is using energy. So if you save that and spend the money on something else, you're likely to reduce energy use and carbon emissions. At least that's my common sense understanding of those two explanations.
Okay, thank you, Martin.
One of the things that I've heard quite a lot in retailing circles is the idea of choice editing. So you'll get this extra money and you're going to spend it on something, but they won't sell it, there won't be as many products that use as much energy in the future, so you won't actually be able to buy the hugely energy inefficient things in the future. So maybe that will counteract some of the rebound.
Okay, thank you. Right, okay, lady here, I think you've had a question. Yes?
Yeah, that was following on from our spoke back, but energy efficiency has been going on for decades. It's not, and it's kind of taking on the climate change badge now, but actually it's doing exactly what we've always been doing for decades because it makes sense to save loads of costs. And it's efficient for the two gentlemen who gave the talks. There are things going on in your businesses that you say are in addition to energy saving to save OPEX, or are you coming over the band of climate change because that's the latest trend?
There are other things that we are looking at. I was speaking to a gentleman over lunch about the wind turbine scenario, having to convince the board that it's a worthwhile investment. However, planning legislation are precluding some of that. So there are additional initiatives going on other than doing it for efficiency costs. In essence, it is the simplistic approach to make the process more efficient, and we are creating the supply chain as part of that.
I think from Manchester Ross point of view, we were motivated by no other reason other than continual improvement. We weren't prompted by any outside scheme or buzzword that was going around. It was just pure from a business sense. Although we're based in Manchester, a lot of us live out in rural and semi-rural areas, so we're quite sensitive to the environment anyway. So that was sort of two of the key factors that drove us on.
Have you felt any pressure from the Tesco M&S on an Indian scheme?
No, not really, no. Because of our track record, they tend to leave us alone because they know that as a business we're doing as much as humanly possible, so it's up to them if they don't care.
So they haven't actually asked you for your carbon figures to include in their carbon?
Yeah.
Martin, you want to add something?
Yeah, I'd say one thing I've noticed is that energy efficiency, when it's driven by cost, is usually for most businesses a small part of their business and doesn't get the board terribly excited. But over the last couple of years, we've seen boards getting very excited by the whole climate change issue. And I think a lot of the recent responses have been because people realise that it's not only good for business, but it's the way we ought to be operating. And I think Richard has actually said that one of the first things he said this morning was we think it's the right thing to do. So I would say that it has moved on a lot from when it was just energy efficiency a couple of years ago.
Yes, I would add to that. I think there's additional drivers now. I mean, if I can quote my university as an example, everyone gets saying this. I mean, their turnover is about 125 million, and their energy bill is or was a year or so ago about £1.25 million. And it's been obvious, a lot of us at the university for a long time, it was £100,000 a year to save, just sitting there waiting to do it. It never happened. And the answer was, you know, if you came into my office and said you saved a million out of 125 million, I might have time, but 100,000 is lost in the noise. Something that maybe should have called on the desk, but that was the sort of philosophy. That's changed dramatically in the last couple of years. You know, the climate debate now is such, you've got to have an answer to the question, particularly from the student population. What's this university doing about its carbon commitment? What's the footprint? What are the plans? The whole culture has changed dramatically in the last 2 years. Now we've got an energy manager and a proper program that's all working, carbon management and all the rest of it. So there's been dramatic change, I think, in the priority